Game 2. Alright, I'll be right back.
Not ready.
Alright, I'm back. So, today's game, the Toronto Blue Jays won 13-7. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. So, we'll start from the top.
Game 2, ALDS against the Yankees. And after a dominant performance, 10-1 in Game 1, the question would be, can Toronto replicate what they were doing? Can they pull out the win? Big storyline was Toronto starting pitcher. How would he react? What was his name again?
Trey Yesavage.
Right. So Trey Yesavage is pitching. It's only, his 4th game in the majors? Yeah. All right, take us through what happened.
So Trey Yesavage is through the roof with confidence right now. He will not stop. He's mowing them down. And the whopping stats are 5.1 inning pitch, which is not that much, but still pretty good.
5 1/3. I mean, that's over half a game. And the big stat line was what?
No hits.
No hit them.
And no runs, obviously. And he just did really well. He had 1 walk, and that's it. And 11 strikeouts, career high. That's a postseason, that's history.
Yeah, I think that's no pitcher has struck out 11 in 5 innings or less of work in postseason play. Ever.
That's insane.
Yeah, historic outing. And there's kind of like 2 games, really, right? Because you had Trey Yesavage going into the 6th. Yankees can't get anything going. But meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, the Blue Jays are doing what?
They're crushing it. So first 2 runs of the game, Ernie smokes one, and that's a 2-run home run. And then
that's after Varsho gets on base. So yeah. Varsho gets on base for the first time, right?
And then big Vladdy comes up to the plate with the bases loaded, and there's one right down the middle, and he doesn't swing. He's looking for another one. It's a bit inside. It clipped the corner, and he smokes it, crushes it. 2nd or 3rd deck? Which one was it?
It was 2nd deck, that was after. So Ernie gets the 2 runs in the 2nd, and they tack on 3 more in the 3rd when you got Kirk and Vladdy. That was a Davis Schneider. Kirk hits a shallow infield single, grounds out shallow infield, and Davis Schneider scores on that. And then Varsho doubles and Vladdy scores there. So they produce 3 runs in the 3rd to make it a 5-0 advantage. And then they erupt even more in the 4th, right? And that's with loading the bases, and Vladdy hits that no-doubter. Signature moment, really.
And then right after that, Alejandro Kirk gets on base, and Dalton Varsho crushes one. So now it's 9-0, and
no, it's 11-0 at that point. 11-0 at that point, right? So that was the first. Going back to Vladdy's, that was the first grand slam by the Blue Jays in the postseason. So you got that includes the 92 and 93 teams, the back-to-back World Series champions. No grand slams there. So and this is dogged Vladdy. His stats in the postseason. That's what's dogged him the last sort of 2020, 2022, 2023. Is Vladdy going to show up? Well, I think it's a different Vladdy. What do you think?
Yeah. They definitely needed him to show up in the playoffs, and he showed up.
So what's Vladdy's stat line for today? Let's just take a quick look here. Vladdy's stat line today is...
So he got 2 runs.
On 3 hits.
On 3 hits and 4 ribbies.
Yeah, crazy. Batting 750 in the series, it looks like. So, yeah, pretty crazy, And then the Savage leaves. I think if you're the Yankees, right, what can you take away from this game? And that's probably what happened in the 6th and 7th, where they try to build a bit of momentum, try to build some confidence. But, realistically, who are they building confidence against? Guys that maybe aren't the most trusted guys necessarily at this stage in the Toronto bullpen. Eric Lauer can't seem to get himself out of a jam. He lets in 3 earned runs. That's followed by Tommy Nance. So they build.
And that's not saying Eric Lauer's a bad pitcher.
No, he just had a bad outing, right? So they get a chance, so that's what you got to kind of build on, I suppose, if you're the Yankees. But even their stat lines here, Judge gets 2 hits and two walks, right? So, but again, not a whole lot of power there. He gets 1 RBI, right?
And Trey Yesavage, the rookie, has never faced the Yankees before. First came against them, and he went insane. He struck out Judge like nothing on my heater.
Well, and it's are you clutch, right? I mean, Vladdy hits the home run. It's a 5-0 game, so they got a big, comfortable lead. But Vladdy delivers. You think of game 1, right? The bases are loaded. It's 2-0 for the Blue Jays. Judge comes up to bat. The bases are loaded. He strikes out, right? Then I think it was Ben Rice gets a fly out or something like that. It's 2-1. Stanton. This is the guys that they're paying all the money to in New York. Bases loaded. Or 2-on anyway. He strikes out, right? So, yeah, they put up some runs and they add some stats when they're down by 13. Great, but that doesn't really move the needle. The guys who are showing up in this series are Vladdy and Kirk and Varsho, and they're doing it when it matters. They're not doing it in garbage time like the Yankees did today. They're doing it when it matters. The game was out of hand.
And then I think the thing was yesterday is they scored 10 runs and people are like, uh-oh, was that just like a coincidence because the Yankees are good? Like, now that they scored again, like, is it a coincidence? Or are the Jays just crushing them?
Well, it'll be a different story on Tuesday. The Jays have to now go into Yankee Stadium. They're facing Shane Bieber, who the veteran is. That was a key pickup for them from Cleveland, coming back from Tommy John surgery. And Yankees are, the Jays are going to have to go up against Rodon, who he's got a pretty good ERA at 18-9 record. That's nothing to sneeze at, right? So over 200 strikeouts this year. So we're going to see how they match up, right? And it's obviously going to be very unfriendly territory for the Jays, but the Jays go in there with some confidence in their lineup, right? And they'll have the rest day, so the bullpen will be rested. Hoffman didn't pitch tonight, so he'll be operating on 2 days rest, and Hoffman's only really pitched once in like a week, if you think about it. So we'll just see. We'll see where this goes, right? The Yankees have to play flawless now.
And Shane Bieber, comparing him to Carlos Rodon, their records are different and stuff, but honestly, I think they're very similar, like pitchers. Like, their whip is very close, and I think they just tried to do it the same way with their confidence and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Jays have, I heard a stat once they got freed out of the game today, that the Yankees starting pitching have combined for less than 6 innings in a series. So these guys the Jays are getting them out of the game before 3 full innings on average. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Rodon, but that puts a lot of stress on your bullpen pretty early on, so.
And John Schneider took Trey Yesavage out of the game in the 5th inning, and a lot of the fans didn't like it. He was playing really well, but honestly, I think it's smart. You save his arm because you don't want him throwing 100 pitches. So I think it's good that you save him and maybe keep him for future experiences. If they make it into the CS, then he's probably going to be one of their top pitchers.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's the next step. So we'll see what the Jays do. I mean, the Yankees didn't really use their bullpen. They used Will Warren to kind of come in and mop up the game. He let in 6 runs, so it just kind of got out of hand. And then they brought in Luke Weaver right at the end there for the last out. So we'll see. We're back on, I guess it's Tuesday. What time's game time on Tuesday?
8:08 Eastern.
Okay. All right. That's good. And yeah, we'll see what can happen. Yeah, they get the evening game. Tigers and Mariners have the earlier game. So we'll see. We'll see if the offense travels to New York with the Jays and see what they can do then. But I'm not expecting double-digit runs, but I'm certainly hoping for it. So
all right,
we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll catch you guys after game 3, and we'll see if we're talking about the ALCS at that point.
All right. See you guys.